Nancy, explain what motivated you to run for election.
Well, I've been attending the county commissioner meetings since last August and really just wanted to learn more about county government and how I as a citizen could learn more and then have more input and help our community grow. I think Scottsbluff County has many opportunities, and I want to build on some of the strengths that we do have. My big thing is building partnerships to increase revenue streams and look at ways to operate more efficiently. So I too love Scottsbluff County, and I consider this a public service that I can give back to the community.
Nancy, what are your areas of county government interest you the most and why?
Well, I came on at first just because of roads and bridges. I live out in the country, so I travel those roads and the bridges, and of our 220 bridges, 60 of them are on a priority list because they're not safe, and so I think that's a huge issue that I would like to see remedied. I also am very interested in some of the legislation and unfunded mandates that might affect our county jail. If they pass at the state legislature, then we will have to hold prisoners that we've never held before. And those unfunded mandates can cost our county as much as $3 million in construction costs, and according to Sheriff Overman, also double his staff. So those are some of the main areas I'd like to work on.
Nancy, how many paid holidays should staff receive per year and why?
Well, I have visited with a lot of the staff here at the Scottsbluff County, and they are very dedicated. They have a lot of expertise. Being from human services background, I know the cost of retraining staff, and I would look for ways to negotiate some sort of benefit, whether it's another paid holiday or something else that would be a perk for those staff. I believe that staff work hard for you, and they do need pats on the back. Maybe that's not another day, so I'm not going to answer your question directly because I'm open. I'm open to consideration and negotiation with staff to see how we can appreciate them.
Nancy, we'll start with you. When it comes to administration of the departments reporting to the board, what is the proper level of oversight that commissioners should exercise?
Well, I don't believe in micromanagement. I believe you hire good staff, you give them the resources they need to do their job, and you have quality control, quality assurance control, but you don't do micromanagement. You let them run their departments. You talk to them. You find out what they need for resources, what their issues are, what their problems are, and try to work together in a positive manner.
Nancy, what ideas do you have to speed up the improvement process for roads?
I look at the surplus funds that the county has, which are the Keno Fund and the Inheritance Tax Fund. And those have monies in them that could go into roads. And so there are excess funds in both of those right now. And the county is well stocked or has a good reserve, probably a 4 to 6 month reserve, which in business is considered more than adequate. So they could pay those monthly bills of the county if all other funding was gone. So I would like to see more money put towards roads. I would also like us, I think we have opportunities to work with other counties. Now that we have an interim superintendent of roads, perhaps we can work with some other counties and do some peer consultations. There are some counties that have much better roads, better gravel. I know in my area, which is on the southern end of the district, we don't get good gravel out there. Our roads aren't crowned, and that's probably the #1 complaint of my constituents. And so I think we have monies we could divert to that. I'd like to see it happen.
Nancy, what role should the county play when it comes to the development of workforce and workforce housing?
Well, this is kind of my background, as you know, working as the CEO for the Housing Partners of Western Nebraska. I think the county can play a role in reducing barriers for both public and private to bring in businesses and to bring in affordable housing opportunities. So I would like to see through Planning Commission, through commissioners' efforts to encourage other businesses to come and for both the private and the public to develop housing. there's definitely an extreme need in our county for that. So that would be,
If a horse racing track and casino are built outside of Gehring, the county stands to receive a considerable amount of funding from that industry. What would be the best use of such revenue?
you know, my first priority would be the roads and bridges, safe bridges, very good roads. We're so far behind on maintenance of roads that if we had a supercharge of money, we could really get the roads on track, and then perhaps we could keep the maintenance going better. I've talked to my constituents about casino and said, are you for, are you against, what do you think? Because it is a revenue source, and we've just talked about the county needs more revenue. And I had no one say that they did not want to have a casino here in Scottsbluff County. People were for it. However, the state legislature, as you know, kind of put the kibosh to that with a study now that has to be completed before they can add any new casinos. And so that puts us out to January of 2025 before that study is completed. But I had no one say that they wouldn't be in favor of that casino. And I think it's because it's a new revenue source, be jobs, and with that will come the need for housing.
Nancy, we'll go to you for our next question. Commissioners also sit as the Board of Equalization. What do you believe is the proper balance to strike when you consider valuation protests?
Well, I think you have to look at the facts that are presented to you by the assessor. You have to look at what the property owner brings as information. And then you have to look at, from the county standpoint as well, do they agree with the assessor? Sometimes those decisions are overturned, and it depends on what the homeowner or property owner brings to the table. So I've seen it go both ways, and I think they just have to be informed, they have to listen, and they have to, you know, try to give both sides equal opportunity to share their information, and then just make a good, responsible decision.
Nancy, what would you do to foster a spirit of cooperation with other elected offices?
Well, I've already been in their offices, sitting at their desks and talking to them, and I think the communication, the appreciation that you show towards them, they are a wealth of resources and a wealth of knowledge and experience. So I've been asking, not only what resources do they need, but what ideas do you have to reduce the mill levy? And so these folks are forthcoming. They know their departments very well, and they can share those ideas. And I think that's a tremendous way to build rapport, to build cooperation. And again, it comes down to just communication. So I think everybody's trying to do that, it sounds like, and I've already done that with many of the elected officials. I am very proud of the workforce that Scottsbluff County has. They are dedicated, they have great expertise, and they have great ideas.
Nancy, I know you addressed it a little earlier, but what are your stance on unfunded federal mandates and state mandates?
Definitely opposed to them, and the bill number is LB 263CA.
There you go.
Introduced by Senator Blood, but it's a bipartisan. It's not just one party. It's a bipartisan bill that's been introduced to eliminate unfunded state mandates. And so when those come down, it hits the county right in the pocketbook. There's nothing you can do. And so there are many of those, and again, that criminal justice reform bill, if we have to take on all of those prisoners that we've never taken on before, because now we have to house the misdemeanors, that's going to be an extremely high cost for the county, and so I am opposed.
Nancy, if you're elected at the end of a 4-year term, how would you define success?
Better rapport with our elected officials and our staff and the county commissioners, reducing county commissioner salaries. I'd like to see them cut by 50%. I do believe we are public servants, that we do not need high salaries. I do also believe that roads, of course, are important, and I would like to see the mill levy, the budgets, very carefully monitored, so that if we can lower property taxes in our area, we get it done.
Well, that was the last of our questions, so we'll give each one of you 60 seconds to give a closing statement. Next on our list would be Nancy, so you get to go first with your closing statement.
Okay. Scottsbluff County has many opportunities. We have strong staff who have expertise and dedication to make the county even better. I want to build on those strengths and seek partnerships to increase our revenue stream while looking for ways to operate more efficiently. My expertise lies in fiscal management of multiple high-performing agencies while increasing affordable housing. I want to reduce barriers so that the private and public sector can fill those needs, because it's a high need in our county. I'm a conservative who will put your tax dollars to work to build better roads and safer bridges. I'm an outside-of-the-box thinker. I believe in community input and will always have an open door to listen to my constituents. Together, we can make Scottsbluff County a better community to live in, to grow our families in, and even to retire in. I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event, and I challenge each person to do their own research, and most importantly, to make their vote heard in the May 10th primary, as only one of us will move forward unopposed. Exercise your freedom, exercise your right, and vote on May 10th. Thank you.
Thank you. We'd like to thank all of our candidates running for Scottsbluff County Commissioner in District Number 1 for participating in tonight's forum. We hope that this helps you in deciding who you wish to vote for. As a reminder, in the May 10th primary election, you'll be allowed to vote for one candidate. The top vote getter in the primary election will advance to the November general election, most likely unopposed, as no other candidates have filed from other parties. This candidates forum is one of several being presented by the Government Affairs Committee of the Scottsbluff-Gering United Chamber of Commerce. We again would like to thank the Rural Radio Scottsbluff staff for recording this forum so you can view it, our timers from WNCC for volunteering, the Chamber staff, and Scottsbluff County Clerk Kelly Sides for hosting us this evening in the Commissioner's Room. On behalf of the Scottsbluff-Gering United Chamber of Commerce Government Affairs Committee, and for my co-chair Don Wolf, I'm Bill Boyer. Thanks again for joining us, and remember to get out and